Hey everybody, what is up? We are done with the intro. We are finally here for another episode of the Heroes Power Hour. I'm going to be hosting again because Twiz is out for another couple weeks, but so you're stuck with me, and you're stuck with the normal crew of Balrog Fan. How you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How's your week in Heroes been?
Oh, ups and downs, triumphs, raging, all the good stuff, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
Getting locked out of the game again.
Yeah, I heard about that. I think our other guest, who's also been a guest on here, is Gillyweed. How you doing?
Good. And yes, we got locked out of the game on Monday. It was great. We were trying to all random, and it just stopped. Which sucked because we won our first all random game.
Yeah.
We're just too cool for school. So
Yeah, definitely.
The game was like, slow down now.
Pump the brakes. Come on, guys.
Yeah, definitely. And to my right, I think, 9ball, over from the Westmarch Workshop, another BlizzPro podcast featuring Diablo. How is Season 3 treating you, and how is Heroes for you this week?
Season 3 has been treating me pretty well. I haven't lost any more characters since our last episode, which is yeah, and Heroes, unfortunately, has taken a little bit of a backseat this past week. Had a lot of things going on. I only played a couple of games just to get some dailies done, and that was about it.
All right. And we have a second guest because JR is also out this week. I'm really excited about this because I've been a fan of Jeff for a while now. But Jeff Cannata, he's a podcaster, gamer, actor, all sorts of stuff. Most people should know you from the DLC podcast, We Have Concerns, or what I was introduced to you by was the Totally Rad Show on Revision 3 back in the day. And I also did some website content for Project Lore with you guys when you guys were running that.
Right. Yeah, man. It's good to be here. I am also Heroes of the Storm addict.
Yeah, definitely. No, I saw you tweeting a bunch about it for months now. I feel like you and Scott Johnson back and forth a lot there too.
Right.
But then I saw you at Heroes of the Dorm, and I was like, "Oh, could we please have you on the show?" Because
I'm delighted. I
love the game.
Tried to talk a lot of Heroes of the Storm on my podcast DLC, my video game show, and I was doing like a weekly segment which I called Jeff's Hots Primer, trying to teach people how to play, and people were like, "Hey, we come here for video game news. We don't want to hear about one specific game every single week." And I was like, I need an outlet for all my hots. My hots!
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why I'm here.
Well, that's what we're here for. We're focused on just Heroes of the Storm, and yesterday I was so worried about the length of the show. I was like, wow, there's not a whole lot to talk about. And then Blizzard dropped a couple bombs today. We'll get to those in a minute, but we're going to start with some of the small news of this week. The Heroes of the Storm starter pack, they announced this as a retail exclusive, I think, card code. I believe it's $20. You get Zagara, Sonya, Lili, Jaina, and Zeratul, and the Ronin skin for Zeratul, and a Golden Tiger mount. And I think, I'm going to be buying this just specifically for the mount. And the best part is each code comes individually, I believe they were saying in the blog post. So you can give those heroes you have away already, which is kind of nice, or maybe sell them for cheaper than they are on the store. I don't know, however you want to do it. What do you guys all think of this? I mean, especially the fact that it's a retail exclusive, which seems a little awkward for a online free-to-play game.
League of Legends did something like this once too. They had a retail thing that had special, I believe it was a special skin or something you could only get with that. So it's not like, it didn't blow my mind, but it's very cool.
Yeah,
I think people want to give people the gift of the game sometimes, and I think that's what, when you're in the store and your mom's like, "What game do you like?" and you say, "Mom, I like Heroes of the Storm," and then there's something hanging on the checkout line, on the
oh yeah,
it's good. I think it's surprising that Jaina's in this because Jaina doesn't seem like a starter character to me, but that's cool. And I want that Golden Tiger. And the Ronin Zeratul was just on sale like last week or the week before.
Yeah.
And I almost bought that then. I might pick this up too. I'm kind of ashamed because I own all the other characters except Jaina. She's the only character on that list that I don't own already, so might be worth it. Do we know a price? Does it say price?
I think it was 20.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't really think
good
that
price.
that any of the heroes except Lily are what you would consider starters. So I am surprised as well. But at least Lily, I mean, we'll have a lot of little pandas running around, I guess.
Yeah, just hold down that Q button. You'll be fine. The team will love you. But yeah.
Tape down the Q button.
Yep.
Spam heals, please.
Oh, yeah.
Zeratul especially, though, he's really hard to use, like, effectively, I think.
Yeah, I feel sorry for all those people that get stuck with a new Zeratul that goes and takes Void Prison and just spams it liberally, in the middle of
Or
a
like
team
Shadow
fight.
Assaults, yeah.
Yeah.
I can just see someone jumping in with Zeratul and be like, "Oh, I'm a badass Dark Templar.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go wreck everybody," and then they're just gonna get blown up real quickly.
You just have to stay away from the Ronin Zeratuls. That's like that's the signal that you got this pack.
Yeah.
That reminds me when they released the Founders Pack, and you'd have the Commander Rainer running around. It's like, okay, stay away, or let me prey on him, or if he's on your team, let me just stay away because bad things are gonna happen.
Oh yeah. Definitely. So, any more comments on that? I think it's pretty straightforward. Half of us are looking forward to it, half of us are like, they're not good starter heroes.
I mean, I'm glad they did it. I'm surprised at their hero selection. That's all.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So moving on to what we talk about every week, just to help out some of the newer players, people new to Heroes of the Storm. The free heroes rotation this week is Malfurion, Nova, Rhaegar, Tyrael, and Vala. With if your account's level 12, you can choose Chen or 15 Sylvanas, which is a little surprising to me. They don't usually throw a new hero into the free pool that quickly, it seems like.
Yeah.
But that's good that they'll let people try out Sylvanas, because I think Sylvanas is a really solid hero.
I think more people bought her than probably bought the new hero. I mean, I don't think the Lost Vikings sold nearly as well as Sylvanas, just judging by how many people play them. There's always a Sylvanas around. So.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, and you look at the iconicness of Sylvanas versus the Lost Vikings, and it's no contest really there.
Also, it's a much more straightforward character to play. I mean, Lost Vikings break my brain. So.
Oh yeah. Yep. The thing that you brought up about one of the newer heroes being thrown into the free rotation so quickly is one thing that I actually did like about League of Legends is that it was like, what was it, either the week after or 2 weeks after the hero was released, they would be in the free rotation, just so that way they could get people interested in them, going through and playing them in matches to hopefully get more people to pick them up or purchase them. It's kind of like a marketing technique.
Yeah.
I think it was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If they like them, then they'll buy them, so that's good for them too, because they'll get addicted to playing them and then be like, oh crap, they're not free anymore, I guess I better buy them.
Yeah, because it's going to be a couple months before they come back up in the rotation, so if you like them, you're going to pick them up.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Vala is probably the most simple hero for new players to pick up out of that bunch.
I think most of these heroes are good for newer players outside of Chen. Even Tyrael, I mean, like, he takes a little work and you have to spec him right, but he's even not overly complicated. But definitely players love Nova. I mean, so whenever she's free, I mean, she does well. And then the rest of them are all fairly straightforward and easy to use. Like, you just got to get their mechanics down.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've talked a lot about Nova Free Week and my frustrations with it, but
I'm right there with you, man. Right there with you.
Yeah. No, it benefited me a game. I was able to play one game before the show today, and there was just a bad Nova, so I was just able to jump on her and kill her with Chen.
If you're picking up Nova new this week, just when you see Jaina, point and shoot. That's what you need to do.
Yeah.
To be helping your team.
Oh my gosh. And on the weekly sale, I actually picked up one of the items this week. There's Brightwing for sale at $5. The Brightwing Monarch skin for $3.74. And what I picked up was the Countess Kerrigan skin. I was waiting for this to come on sale for $5, so I picked that up because I do like using Kerrigan as a her assassin damage dealer, and I feel like she'll start coming up a bit more, especially because we saw her, I think, used pretty well in Heroes of the Dorm.
Yeah, I want that monkey. When that monkey skin coming on sale, I want that monkey skin.
I know, Brightwing is the best.
I know.
Brightwing is my favorite.
I don't want the Monarch skin. I don't care about the Monarch skin.
I love the Monarch skin.
Give me that monkey. I want that monkey.
Oh, it's so freaky. It's so weird.
I do have the monkey with the green banana, and he's my favorite.
There you go.
Greatest.
Voice is really cute. Its face is terrifying.
It's pretty terrifying.
This is true.
That's the point. Monkeys are scary.
If
Especially flying monkeys, if Wizard of Oz taught me anything.
Yeah, exactly. But the big news of the week, I guess really today, though, is this patch preview that came out. And Blizzard also teased the upcoming release of Kael'thas. No information besides a video, and saying that Warcraft was only a setback. Let's start with the Kael'thas tease. Jeff, what do you think about this hero? It looks like obviously a mage class.
Yeah. Pretty rad, right? I think that everybody, this was the big rumor of the next hero. I think we kind of all suspected that. I'm excited. I don't know if we know what class it's going to be, but I suspect. I think that it would be interesting if this was a warrior class, right? I think that's probably a stretch, but it would be really cool if they figured out a way to do that. I'm really interested to see what talents and abilities they're gonna use with this character, because it's a pretty awesome lore from a lore standpoint. It's a pretty awesome character, and I'm excited.
Yeah, and
go ahead.
Just from the multiple different fights in World of Warcraft, I mean, they could go a bunch of different directions with this hero. It'll be interesting to see. Gilly, what were you saying before I rudely interrupted you?
No. All I was going to say is when we had a game dev or a game designer on our show a couple weeks ago, when Jaina got the arcane power talent at level 20, he made a point to mention that it was not just for Jaina, and that it's a standard talent like rewind or whatever. So I do think that it's very possible that he could be another mage, so that's kind of their tease into showing that other heroes will be picking that one up as well.
It's a very good point. Yeah, I think we'll have a lot of burn spells, and if there's any justice in the world, we'll have a Phoenix mount.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I know, seriously.
Definitely. That's something that has to happen.
If anything, the short, 2-second video I feel like that's Pyroblast. Like, that's just going to be some giant missile that's going to blow people up.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of his big spells in all of his fights was Pyroblast.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you guys think this is going to be this patch will be the launch patch or the open beta patch, or what do you think?
I strongly think this will be the open beta patch.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat.
You think we'll get another character for launch in June?
When they at Heroes of the Dorm, they said they were going to start doing heroes every 3 week, big patches every 6, I believe. So I don't know that we'll have another hero by launch. Maybe would that be? Are we 6 weeks from launch?
We're we're a lot closer.
We're 4 weeks.
Yeah.
They think that the patch is going to be next week because of the insights, which I know a lot of esports people are worried about, because the big WCA starts next week, and that would be some people would play one way and then the patch would hit and then they have to play a different way because of nerfs.
Yeah, maybe tournaments are going to have to get to a point where they're just going to have to ban new heroes at least the first week or two that they're out, just so people are able to get comfortable with them. And if they're overtuned at the beginning, which generally happens, because I was at one of the developer Q&As at Heroes of the Dorm as well, and they were like, oh, we're working 3 months ahead of where everybody else is on live, and so when a hero comes out and it's overpowered, they're like, oh, that was a stupid thing to do. And so they have to go back and they obviously can't realize it that early in development that it's going to be totally overpowered. Because, I mean, you can do as much testing as you want with 50 to 100 people on your QA team, but until it hits live and hits a huge variety of players, you're not going to know the true power of the hero.
I heard that they're doing a PTR. Maybe that's a rumor, but I heard they're doing a PTR.
I don't believe it's a rumor, because the PTR showed up in the launcher at one point, and I don't know if it's still there or not. Yeah, it's still there. If you go in the launcher and hit the region account, the PTR is there. I don't think it's live yet, but at some point in the future, I believe so.
Oh, Fairground says the dev Q&A is not until the 12th, so the patch will likely be 19th at open beta day. I think that'd make people a lot happier. I still think it's going to be an issue if there's like events where some play on Monday and then some play on Tuesday, because even if you ban out like a new map or a new hero, it's still a huge issue like with changes, but that would at least help a little bit.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem kind of with like the esports scene for Heroes of the Storm in the beginning, because they had to have gone through and planned out these tournaments before they had the announcement of when the release was going to be. So they're kind of like not syncing up with the devs on when we're going to push patches and when we're not, or add heroes and stuff. But I think that's just going to be kind of like one of the little growing pains until it gets launched, it gets rolling, and they'll be able to have kind of a better sync up between patch scheduling as well as like big name tournaments, and what they can do and work with in terms of schedules.
Yeah, I think Blizzard has learned that a bit. I don't know if the Heroes team necessarily is on that same page, but if we want to go way back, I don't know if Gilly remembers this, but there was an MLG where roaches got buffed like 2 days before the event, and like all the Zerg players just like steamrolled through the tournament. It was really funny. But yeah, you're going to step on toes irregardless of when you release a patch, so it's just you have to, I guess, choose your battles really.
Yeah, maybe try to give some warning, like, hey, a patch is going to be coming out this week, so maybe plan to not have stuff that week or something, so that teams can learn them. Or, like, I think also having some sort of public testing, or at least where teams can get in and test stuff and know the patches when they drop. That would be really helpful.
Yeah, I mean, that's what Blizzard's doing now with StarCraft 2, is there's always a test map before they release any sort of balance changes.
Yeah.
Yep. And they've also held off doing balance changes until after big tournaments, just to not screw with results and such, since everything is kind of tied into the WCS system now. Yeah,
like the Swarm host change was, I think, delayed till Season 2 of WCS at least this year. But yeah, anyways, balance changes. We're talking about Heroes of the Storm. We're not talking about StarCraft. Also released today was the Developer Insights blog from Matthew Cooper. Lots of changes. I want to talk a little bit about the Healing Ward change, because I play support a lot.
Yeah, me too.
This is going to be interesting because it's going to be a lot easier to kill now, and positioning of the Healing Ward is going to be way more important this time.
Yeah.
It sounds really cool. It's a really cool change. It really adds a layer of strategy to it, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the change.
Yeah, I'm so glad. I mean, like, because with Healing Ward, there's always a risk-reward thing, and when it was placed well, and you had to walk through basically 3 enemy heroes to be able to even auto-attack it, even as a ranged hero, it was ridiculous. They were basically standing in an area you shouldn't be fighting them in, which was usually right in front of your tower or something, so you had to back off and give up forts, or... I'm just glad it needed a change.
Yep. Yeah, they've kind of gone back and forth on it, too. Like, at one point, you could destroy it with AoE stuff, and then they didn't like that. And now they're bringing that back again. So hopefully the scaling health will help mitigate that, where it's going to be like the baby bear right in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely can't just blow up from one blizzard or something, but...
Yeah, or like a Psystorm.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm glad that it'll be easier to kill, but I hope it's not nerfed into the ground.
Yeah. Speaking of hoping things aren't nerfed into the ground, I know this really worries Balrog Diablo and ETC are both receiving, it sounds like, significant nerfs, but they haven't really detailed the exact changes. But they're getting new Heroes of the Storm talents, level 20 talents.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. People are telling me, hey, don't worry. He's getting this cool new skill. They said minor adjustment. No. He's not going to get this amazing level 20 skill, and they're going to be like, and we lowered his health by 20. It's going to be, there's going to be some big changes, and big enough to have to at least play him slightly different, I would imagine. Same way with ETC. I like the idea of stage dive and still being able to mosh pit on death, although death trigger skills aren't my favorite. It definitely sounds like something that could either save your team or allow them to roll a death out. So,
yeah, it sounds like that one. The name of the talent came first, right? They're like, we should call something death metal.
Yeah. They love metal. Yeah, it does seem weird that they would give such good sounding storm tier talents and then not take them down quite a bit.
yeah.
Because if they just gave those, then we would continue with this problem of tanks where you have Diablo and ETC basically only, occasionally other ones in different metas, but it's pretty much those two. I think that we're going to see some changes in the earlier stages of their talents or something.
Yeah.
AoE lifesteal sounds cool, though. I mean, in theory.
Oh, definitely.
You're right. I think it means he's probably going to be in a lot more trouble a lot faster.
Yeah.
And if they were saying, yeah, we're doing this to Stitches and Anubrik, I'd be like, cool, they're going to be good. But they're saying we're going to give these skills to the two, like Gilly said, widely picked tanks. I mean, you see some Tyrael, and I know Chen's popular in Europe, but I mean, it's ETC and Diablo for the most part.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna just move down the patch preview here. Abathur's getting some changes to help prevent that really crazy backdoor strat that I guess a lot of people have been using. I actually haven't seen it used really against me, or except for a couple times maybe. But if you don't pay attention to it, you just get wrecked by it. But the range is being dropped on Locust, and overall health for the Bombard Locust. Apparently that was a bug. So they're fixing that, and they're giving Abathur stronger stab damage. So, I mean, it's not huge changes, but enough that it should lessen this backdoor strat. None of it. I don't think any of us play Abathur really, unless Jeff does.
I do not. No. I don't play Abathur. I don't play Murky.
Yeah.
I see him all the time, so I mean, I think if they're gonna nerf the range on those little bugs, it's GG on lane shove Abathur. Personally, I think it'll go back to being exclusively symbiote Abathur, but just my opinion. I know Gilly sees him a lot. What do you think?
I'm scared of the stab damage already. Like having Illidan, like a lot of times you see Illidan Abathur, and having Illidan be able to like keep that hat near you is scary. But I think they had to give something for taking away those locusts, and I'm happy about that. I think that's fine.
That's the biggest bummer in this list is we're cool with Illidan. We're gonna leave him be.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that the next three heroes they talk about, they're like, oh, we're good with them, and they go on to explain why. Like, so Chen apparently they're really happy with, which I find interesting because you don't really see him, at least in North America matches. I think in Europe you see him a lot more, but I don't pay too much attention to the European esports scene right now. Balrog or Gilly, are you guys seeing that at all?
I feel like Chen and Arthas are almost there. And so if they are looking to take down Diablo and ETC, it might be something where they don't need to mess with Chen, because once they bring them down a little bit, he's going to be right on that level, and they want to see, like, they don't want to cause a situation where then we just have our other tank that's OP. They just want to try to get them all at the same level.
Chen benefits from this meta a lot too, because I mean, like, you're seeing a lot of squishy comps, and he does a good job of being able to sustain burst damage and get through to the backline and actually do damage. And the barrel does a really good job of messing up positioning, which is, you know, what this game is about. So, and plus it interrupts giant skills. He can knock ETC out of a mosh pit, things like that. So I think, I mean, honestly, 5-second cooldowns on his skills, I've always thought he was pretty strong. He's just, when it comes to damage tanks, I'd rather sustain more than damage. So that's why I gravitated towards Diablo.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, definitely. And then, like we were saying, Illidan not getting touched, which surprises me. But their justification there is basically the win rate is 50%, which is exactly where they want heroes. And they say he's not like some huge outlier in win percentage or anything like that, or damage and stuff like that. But I don't know, it's a little hard after watching Heroes of the Dorm.
Yeah, I was going to say their own tournament. Whoever had the Illidan won the game.
Yeah, it was like you either had to pick him or you had to counter pick him, so the other team didn't have him, basically.
Yeah. And no bans. They couldn't ban him.
Yeah.
I wonder if we'll see bans in the release patch. I wonder if that'll be a release.
Please.
Yeah, I'm definitely with that too. I think the difficult part for them is that adds an additional, if you're giving just one ban to each team, that's an additional 2 hero slots that everyone's going to need to have owned.
But they were unequivocal about that. They said bans are coming. They're bringing them into the game.
It adds such a huge layer of strategy. I mean, like, if you know a team you're facing is really good with some specialist that doesn't necessarily fit into the meta right now, you can ban that and force them to play something they're not comfortable with or something like that. I mean, we see this all the time in Dota and League, and that should be interesting. And they are going to add it, so it's coming.
It took a little bit for League to get it going too, and I think part of it is the low hero selection. They don't want to, especially in a game where you're seeing the same 10, 12 heroes, they want to start adding bans onto that. It's not going to make anyone super stoked when, probably 25% of the player base is playing the same 7 heroes or something, Yeah. So ban Jaina, that's all I'm good with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess it is at this point you really only need the one ban because it's just such a narrow selection of heroes, and then to cut down on that, just what is prevalent in the meta of what people are going through and picking anyways.
Yeah, and a lot of times when people are talking about stuff like this too, it's I want bans because I really hate playing X player, but they don't think about the other guys who are I love playing X player. That's my favorite. If you ban them, I'm going to enjoy the game less. So, I think it's a pretty hard balancing act that. For I'd say probably about 5 to 10 more heroes, and you could do one pick bans without upsetting people too much. Just me personally, though.
Yeah. And unless we wanted to really talk about them, they just were Murky and Sylvanas are fine.
Nah.
I think that's okay. I'm okay with that. The big one for me is Lost Vikings, because I play Lost Vikings quite a bit. But I think these changes are really good. They changed it so that once the longboat is destroyed, which is the talent for the heroic for Lost Vikings right now, all the Vikings get stunned for 1.5 seconds. So now you can't unabashedly just go in with the boat and not care about dying, because you're going to be stunned for 1.5 seconds. And the fact is, you get melted with the Vikings if you're not careful. And also they're bringing up the play again heroic, where they're adding a full heal to all the live Vikings in addition to the current resurrection trait of that ability, which I'm going to be playing with that now and see how that works instead of the longboat, because you're going to get 5 Vikings back to back pretty easily.
Yeah.
It's nice for them because obviously Longboat is the number one pick talent for them as far as the ultimates go, and trying to buff the other one to give some incentive to go and pick it in addition to nerfing Longboat. just to try and get the talent picks, because that's one of the other big things that they mentioned in that is that there's a lot that they have to do to address the talent pick rates, but they're more interested in getting the Lost Vikings kind of reined in as far as their overall win percentages, and then go back in and change some of their talents to get a little bit more balanced.
Yeah. There's
they mentioned
definitely
they wanted
a
to do
stream.
that for Sylvanas too.
ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just going to say there's definitely needs to be some streamlining with the talents, because, I mean, there are just garbage talents on so many heroes that you just wouldn't take. Like, Tychus is level 1. Like, I'd probably say 90% of the people take the one that makes overpower stronger. But he's got 5 on that level. Like, okay. And Arthas just has a bunch that, like, you wouldn't even consider in a million years on a character like Arthas that's hard enough to talent into to play him effectively.
Yeah. And does anyone use Envenom? Like, I never see it. I feel like I never see it anymore.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I use it. I use it on Brightwing. I use it on, I don't know who else. I dig that talent. I think it's cool, but maybe I'm crazy.
No. I think the problem with it that I have with it is it's really great when you early get it till about, I would say, 12 or 13, because then I feel like it falls off, but I don't actually know the numbers behind it and how it scales, but it just feels less effective as the game goes on to me.
I think a lot of teams who want to early pick and then get ahead in the early game will try to stack it. Sort of like you see the stacking with the Blood for Bloods at 16. So, like, if you've got, like, a Brightwing, Sylvanas, Jaina, you got 3 Envenoms that you can work with and just burn people down really quickly in the early game, which then you would want to press that advantage to try to keep your lead there. So, yeah, like, I mean, if you're by yourself and you're the only one who has it, then, you might not get it, but it just kind of depends which heroes you're on with it too, and what it's up against in talent tiers.
Strategy plays into it a lot for sure. I mean, if you're going to be roaming and ganking, you might want Envenom. If you plan on trying to split push, Envenom might not be for you that game. Like, I also see it taken on Nova occasionally if she doesn't have a healer. Like, you're just, yellow queuing with Nova. Like, oh, thanks, Blizzard. No healer. We have Tyrande, She ain't throwing her heals my way, that's for sure. So I'll take Envenom because keeping my stacks is going to be hard enough.
Oh, yeah.
But
so, yeah. Any final comments on the patch preview?
I was surprised that Sylvanas is at 50% win-loss, but my only real issue with her is on Haunted Mines. I've played a lot of Hero League, and then I've casted quite a few games with her, and I feel like I never see her lose on Haunted Mines. Apparently her win rate is not that crazy in Haunted Mines. I was complaining about it earlier on stream, and they told me it was only 57%, but for me it feels like it's crazy high, especially with, like, if you get a bigger golem, it's like you can have that first golem, which has been nerfed, push all the way up to the keep, like through the towers to the actual keep, and that is very difficult to come back from because that gives you such a significant experience lead. So I'm interested in whether they're actually going to maybe look at how her Black Arrow works, like, not only for you pushing with heroes, but in conjunction with, like, how minions and map things push, like the golems on Haunted Mines. Yeah. I hope they're looking at that. Because it feels very strong. And, like, every time I see Haunted Mines pop up, it's like insta Sylvanas first pick. I don't really think that they want that on one of their maps, per se.
I mean, like, and that 57%, was that Hero League only, or was that across, like, Hero League, Quick Match, and Team League?
Oh, it was HOTS logs. So whatever. Probably all of them.
Yeah, that'd be like all of them across the full spectrum of MMR.
So she's already 57% across all of them, and you got to figure most of the time you're going to see a Sylvanas mirror. So I mean, one's going to lose, one's going to win. So definitely, I'm with you. She feels way too strong on that map.
And of course, Blizzard has different data than we have, so who knows what exactly they're seeing. And I think they've taken the whole spectrum from people's accounts who are level 1 to those of us who are at level 40 and playing Hero League. I trust Blizzard for the most part.
Yeah, that's one of those things that, they go and they're talking about the win rate percentages and such. And some of the heroes, they'll narrow it down, like on Chin, when they go through and look at just like the higher MMR, he has a solid win rate. But across like the whole spectrum, obviously he could use some help. So when you go through to make those balance changes, they actually are looking at the numbers, not only like the full picture, but they do tend to focus, especially since this is mostly the same team as that did StarCraft. They're looking at the higher ranks. What are the pros doing? What are these people? Like the rank 1 Hero League and such. What are their win rates when they go to look and make balance changes? It's something that they have to handle. It's like, well, this is doing great in the top 5% of all players, but outside of that, this hero's garbage. What do we do? Because if we buff them any, it's going to change the meta at the top for an already good hero.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
Yeah, where are you at on all this, Jeff? I feel like we've been...
No, I'm fascinated. I think you guys are tied into the esports scene much more than I am. I find that fascinating to think about. Yeah, that you can't balance. You're balancing for completely different play styles, right? Which is a really interesting challenge. And it is fortunate that this is the StarCraft team because they have so many years' experience doing that exact thing. But it's a fascinating conversation.
Yeah, that's the problem too. Like a lot of people see pro builds, like this is a pro comp, this is a pro build, and they're like, okay, you have to build it this way. But I mean, those things only work because those players are playing the maps correctly at a pro level.
And
on a coordinated five stack.
Like, blood for blood every time. Why are you not taking blood for blood? We should be stacking. Like, dude, come on. I don't know you.
I'm not getting.
You're playing Asmodan. You should take healing. You should take healing totem. It's like, oh god, no, don't.
Oh
no.
my gosh.
Do you guys? Let me ask you this: do you guys solo queue at all, or how? What's your play habit?
I solo queue every so often, and I've stopped solo queuing for Hero League at least, because that just infuriates me. Because it's generally not a fun experience. But yeah, I'll usually hop on, and I have enough people on my friends list who play that it's not too hard to find a group. I play a lot with Balrog. We've played a lot together.
Yeah, I play a lot with Jimmy and Digi. Selfishly, I like to play alone with music sometimes, solo queue Hero League, and just pop some music on and focus, and mainly what I'm looking for when I solo queue is honestly to just work on my own mechanics, like getting upset about what's happening, or like typing, like spending my time like, okay, you need to do that. Like, I can't write strategy guides in the middle of the map. Either you know how to play or you don't. That's so, like, I'm just trying to work on me. And then I can do like the strategy things on Skype with friends and stuff,
Yeah. That's a good way to look at it because, it can be, within, a minute and a half, you can realize, oh, God, I'm in a team that's not going to win. Right. So, I think it's a good mental place to be, is to go in, I'll just work on what I need to work on right now and lick my wounds when I lose my points at the end of the match.
But you say that, but the way Heroes is designed is I've had some just bizarre comebacks. Like, it's you're like, wait, what? How did we win that game? There was a game the other night. I think we were playing Balrog, and we were literally a percentage away from winning the game because they had our core down to like 4%, and they were funneling in one by one, and we were just killing them. And Turan was just able to kill the core though, unfortunately. But that was a game that we shouldn't.
We came close.
We came close to winning it when we shouldn't have.
Past 16, it's hard to make comebacks in this game, but it's really easy to throw it. Like, you can lose a game for yourself so quickly as a team, like just by one bad positioning error or overcommit to one objective or whatever.
Yeah, everybody goes down, and all of a sudden you were winning.
Game over. Yep.
Yeah.
All right, well, I think we're going to wrap up part 1 for now. We're going to go into part 2, which is our gameplay session. Jeff, are you available for that?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay,
We'll see if Skype cooperates.
Okay.
When I don't know the game.
So, just want to sign off on part 1 real quick. Nineball, you can find him at Nineball Gamer on Twitter. Check him out on the West March Workshop. It's Wednesday night, correct?
Yep, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific.
Okay, so for all your Diablo needs, that's with Leviathan and Nineball. And it's a really great show if you're into Diablo or curious about Diablo, because that's just another awesome gaming community that is really cool to be a part of. My partner in crime, Balrog Fan, you can find him at Balrog Fan BP, and also check out his other show, the Nexus Night Owls. You do that live Wednesday nights as well.
Thursday night, 1:30 a.m.
Okay.
We were getting our asses kicked by Heroes Hype, so we decided we weren't going to pull in any extra viewers during the finals.
Sorry.
I can't compete with an amazing amateur tournament. I'm just not that good.
So yeah, that throws that throws over to Gilly. You stream a couple days a week, right? On Twitch.
I stream every weekday. My Twitch stream just got partnered. Woo!
I saw that. I was gonna ask, when did you get partnered, but that answers that.
Like the weekend before Heroes of the Dorm.
Nice.
So very recently.
Cool.
I'm super excited, very grateful. I stream every weekday at 3 p.m. Central, but then I also cast the Heroes Hype Amateur Series. Sorry. And Storm League, which is finally on its break. The finals were this morning at 6 a.m. So the best way to figure out what I'm doing is to follow me on Twitter, Gillyweed SC2.
Yeah, and that Heroes Hype League is really cool, especially if you're just wanting to experience a tournament environment. It's a really cool experience to have. I think if you're at all serious about playing Heroes, it's worth trying out a couple times just so you can see what it's like at a higher level play.
Yeah, we have a lot of fun. Everybody in there is really great spirited. We all have a blast. It's a really fun environment, and like you said, you get to experience what it's like to play at a tournament setting with bands and all.
Exactly.
So explain this to me. I'm sorry, I kind of don't understand what that is. You set up this tournament yourself, and how's that working?
It was set up by Heroes Hype, which is a news site. Started out as a site that put out a newsletter once a week about esports and what's happening in the hero scene. And then they've really expanded. They've started an amateur series, which I cast every week, and I also run the production for. And it's a series for amateur teams, so only teams who are not in the majors can participate in it. But it's set up like a normal tournament as well, so that way you actually get the full experience of that. We have a lot of teams who participate every weekend. It's a lot of fun. And then they also recently we've started this news show that has is maybe a 5-6 minute news show that I host, and with my co-host Anna Prosser from On the Storm, and we talk about what's happening in the esports scene for Heroes.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, okay, and Jeff Cannata, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's total honor for me. I'm totally geeking out over this.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Where can people can find you at Jeff Cannata on Twitter? 2 N's.
1T. Yeah, 2 N's, 1T. On Twitter. And listen to my video game show. It's at 5by5.tv/DLC. Last week's episode, we had interviews with Dustin Browder and K.A.O. Milker. And those were great. An extra bonus hour of show just talking to those guys. It's really cool. So check those out and get hooked on the show.
Cool. Is there anything else you want to plug, or?
Oh, sure. We Have Concerns is my science comedy show that I do with Anthony Carboni. That's at wehaveconcerns.com. And I'm also on the /Filmcast at /Filmcast.com, reviewing movies and TV shows and stuff.
All right, cool. Well, thank you so much. We're going to end part 1. Thank you for watching, on all of you on Twitch. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you so much. Feel free to comment. Feel free to comment on Twitter about this new format. We've had it for a couple weeks now. Either Twitter to myself at TJ Tyrant, at Powerhour Fan BP, at Nineball Gamer, or at the Heroes Power Hour Twitter account, which is at Heroes Power Hour. And if you're listening on iTunes or RSS, however you listen to a podcast, feel free to review us on iTunes. Any review would be great. We love to hear from our fans, or any constructive criticism is awesome. And thank you so much. And Twiz will be back in a few weeks, so the production will be a little bit better than mine. And the soundboard will be back. The clapping, the that we always have. There's your sound effect.